everyone. My name is Angelique. I just want to chat a little bit about finding your teacher. So there's this little saying that I've gone by, and I can't remember where it comes from. If it comes from one of my teachers, I'm sure. Which one, I don't remember. But this idea that in yoga, it is the student that finds the teacher, not the other way around. Even it's the student that makes the teacher, right? You're not a teacher until someone chooses you as such. So this responsibility falls primarily on the student to find that person to learn from. As teachers, it's our responsibility to present ourselves authentically, so that the students that connect with us, that are a match, essentially, can find us, right? I received some advice years ago from one of my teachers, Tim Feldman, at Miami Life Center, as I was sort of mentoring under him and Kino McGregor and also Greg Nardi. He said to me once that in promotional materials, this was before Instagram, right? So like workshop flyers, Facebook, YouTube, that in promotional materials, it was important to represent myself authentically, not to show myself in a posture that I don't regularly do in my practice, just because it's pretty or looks advanced or is impressive. And that stuck with me, to make sure that what I present to my students, to possible future students, or to anyone out there in social media land, that it's authentic to me. And if I do end up playing with or showing postures that are not a part of my regular practice, I try to always identify that and say I'm playing with this pose or experimenting or whatever, so that students can authentically determine if I'm their teacher or if I'm someone that they want to learn from. So as students, how do you know when someone is your teacher? This is the hard part, right? Many of us don't have a whole lot of options. We might be living in areas where there's just not a lot of teachers around, so you take what you can get. Or your schedule is such that it's really difficult to even connect with that one teacher that you might feel drawn to or feel that you could really benefit from, but they always teach at a time that you can't practice. This happens. You just do your best, right? But when you do find that teacher that you connect with, you'll find that, number one, there's a trust that's already there. Trust is a very important aspect of the teacher-student relationship. You want to trust that they know what they're talking about. You want to trust that they're listening to you and they're hearing what you're telling them when you talk about, your experience, your aches and pains, what you want out of the practice, what kind of day you had, right? What you're bringing to your mat. But also someone that sees what's possible, sees what you're capable of, and challenges you towards that. That's one way that I felt that Kino was my teacher. Kino McGregor is who I consider to be my teacher outside of Paramaguru Joyce. And when I started, first of all, I was suggested to start working with her. Other teachers that I worked with said, you should study with Kino. She would understand, your body type, where you're coming from. She's who you should connect with and study. I heard this like 2 or 3 different teachers made that recommendation. And when I finally met her and finally started practicing with her, first of all, that was true. She understood my body's particular challenges, my strengths and weaknesses. But what got to the heart of it, what got to the soul level of connection for me, was that I felt that she knew what I was capable of long before I did. And I trusted her to push me towards it. I trusted that what she was telling me to do, whether it seemed impossible or not, that it was right and that it would benefit me. And then over time, you know, many of those experiences that, yes, what she told me to do benefited. And yes, even though I thought it was impossible, she led me on this path towards possibility, and then beyond possibility to capability. And so as students, it can take some time to learn whether or not a teacher is your fit. And then also that can change. A teacher that benefits you and suits what your needs are at the time may not be the teacher that benefits you down the road. But it does support your practice to find someone that you can sort of lay your practice into their hands, and you can trust them with it. And then they can look forward beyond this hour and a half that you're in their space. They can look forward weeks, months, years ahead and guide you towards some unknown destination, right? So do your best with what you have available to you, but you will find that when you find your teacher, your practice just blossoms. Your potential expands. Your sense of connection to what the yoga is deepens when that relationship with the teacher is the right one for you. Thank you so much for listening. Teachers, be authentic. Students, find your match. Find your teacher. Find that person that speaks to you, that challenges you, supports you, and leads you from the impossible to the possible to the capable. Namaste.